All right, what's going on, everybody? Isaac Fleischer here, and welcome to another iHoops After Learning. Now, before we begin, make sure you guys give me a follow on Instagram. That's where you'll find all the best clips. Anything that I do with interview stuff, that's all going to be on my Instagram at iHoopsFL. So definitely follow me on there again, iHoopsFL. I really appreciate your support. And also, if you guys want, you maybe give me a follow on my Twitter as well at iHoopsRecruits. That's where I post all the articles I've written for a company down here in South Florida. Along with now, we started doing some recruitment stuff. Now I'm kind of leaning towards a little more like player evaluation kind of things on the Twitter. I don't know. The Twitter is like any other type of content. You're going to see it on there on Twitter. So again, iHoopsFL for interview stuff on Instagram, Twitter at iHoopsRecruits for articles, recruitment info, and player evaluation tweets. But anyways, let me bring on our guest right now. What's going on, my guy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. Actually, bro, I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
I had some,
that's not it.
yeah, it was not and the thing is, like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just worked, but the work I had to do, I don't know if you ever had to make a bibliography before, like, man,
Nah,
yeah. So for the class I'm in, like, it's an easy class, but it's like, it's I don't know how it's like as if your teacher said for homework, like, I need you to write your name like a billion times, and that takes you like 5 hours. Like that's like
yeah,
it was an easy work. It just takes a long time, and
that's
it took
crazy.
a very long time. So
That's
yeah, but
crazy.
I'm doing all right. This stuff gives me a little bit of energy. I think that's good enough for me to get into this interview. So my first question for you now, in my opinion, I mean, you may laugh, and I don't really care. I think it's pretty cold here. I mean, I'm checking the weather right now. I'll tell you what that is. The weather where I am. Oh, okay, it got a little bit hotter, but like it's been like the 50s, like the 60s at some points. Now it's 75, so I think I'm okay to wear like maybe a short sleeve shirt and some pants, but I was freezing
Yeah.
cold a couple days ago. I couldn't talk, and it was probably like it was maybe like 50 something degrees or low 60s. I couldn't move my mouth. Like I was so cold. Um, and you told me you live by the beach, and I mean you live in New Jersey. I live in Florida. Probably a big difference in the beaches over there. So I mean, do you get like any benefit from living on the beach and the place is kind of cold year round?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're saying, I mean, it's what, 75 right now? It's probably like 30 where I am right now. So, um, and like, especially with like everything going on with like coronavirus and everything, it's like tough to get in a lot of gyms and stuff like that. So, I've been playing a lot of outside ball and it's just like it's freezing out there. Your hands are all like cold and everything like that. So, but definitely like if you can play in 25-degree weather outside, I mean, you're fine going indoors. So, I feel like I use that to my strength.
And what about like the beach in general? Because I mean, a lot of people they want to live by the beach. It's kind of I don't know if you watch HGTV, but you have the old people. They live the lottery or they're retiring and they're going to buy a house at the beach. But it's never a beach in like up north in like New Jersey or something like that. So what like do you guys ever go to the beach? Like is it always too cold? What's the point of living by the beach up north?
Nah, I mean, like in the summer it gets pretty warm, and like, I mean, I do my workouts, I get what I need to get done, and I hit the beach every single day. I get super tan in the summer. I'm always in the water and stuff like that. I have a lot of friends who live like literally on the beach, like their houses are on the beach. So, nah, I mean, I'm like blessed. I'm blessed to like be able to live so close to it because it's like such a good spot to go to.
Yeah. So like, could you literally like I guess walk to the beach like from your house, or you live like
Nah, yeah, like literally, I mean, it'll probably be like a 10-minute walk, but like bike ride, like 5 minutes to the beach.
yeah, man, that's kind of cool because I mean, at least for myself, the one thing I've been doing like keep myself like I'm a pretty like I don't want to say I'm fit, but like I always like do something every day of my life, and like one thing I've been doing like, during the quarantine, because this I'm just sitting down talking to you, I'm not like getting active, we're not doing like a workout or anything like that, but I usually go on a
Yeah.
bike ride. Like I don't live by the beach, I live by the Everglades though, so there's some stuff to see sometimes, but like, that'd be crazy just going out like biking, like seeing the beach, like it's probably
Yeah, no,
unbelievable.
it's awesome.
You
It's
can only do
awesome.
that. You can only do that like one point the whole year. So I guess
Yeah.
it's not worth it too
It's
much.
not it's not ideal situation, but when it hits summertime, it's perfect.
And I guess since you've like grown up around the beach, I know some of those people where they're like just beach like families. They're always at the beach. I mean, I'm a pool guy, so I find them a little bit weird. But are you one of those like beach crazy people?
I mean, I wouldn't say like I'm crazy, but like definitely like in the summer I'll wake up in the morning and like my parents aren't home and I'm like, where's mom and dad? They're like at the beach. You know, it's like they're always anytime they can go there. So I've been going to the beach with my family ever since probably 5 years old. At least that's what I can remember. So
So would you say you like the beach better than the pool?
yeah, I'm gonna have to say. I mean, I love pools. Don't get me wrong. Like, I definitely would crash in a pool, but I think like actually, you know what? I don't know. I'm like kind of 50-50 with that because the beach gets like when it's hot, like it's hot. Like it's tough to stay at the beach. So pool's definitely the call when it's like 100 degrees out.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the weather. Like, just my one big factor with the beach versus the pool is the like. I'm not. I hate sand. I don't like the sand. That
Yeah, now the sand gets annoying.
Yeah, that's how. And like when you're wearing shoes, like you can't get it out. Like there's no. I haven't found like a solution unless maybe I cover my feet in, like plastic bags on how like so I go in the water, come out, get my shoes, put them in the water to rinse out the sand. But then my feet, it's like there's no perfect solution besides those showers, and even that sometimes doesn't even do it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. I usually just go barefoot. I don't even bother bringing shoes to the beach.
Oh yeah, but I guess like but wouldn't like the concrete be like super hot though? Like oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
sometimes the sand gets so hot, bro. Like oh my,
yeah,
my
no, it's
fire.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that stuff is crazy. But moving into some of the basketball stuff now, what are your goals for the season?
So definitely I want to win our conference championship. I mean, we did that last year for the first time in like 63 years. So definitely go back to back in that. Make a run in the state tournament if there is one. We're not really sure what it looks like with coronavirus going on. So, but if we have the opportunity to play for a state championship and beyond that, I hope we can do that.
And did you say you won the first what was it, conference title in 63 years?
Yeah, so we're in like what's called the Shore Conference. So there's probably 45 so teams in our conference, and our school was in a 63-year drought. I mean, they made it to the finals, but they never won. My freshman year, we made it to the finals, but we lost to I don't know if you know Scotty Lewis at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we lost to his team in the finals, but we won last year for the first time in 63 years. So it was pretty big.
I mean, just in general, like 63 years, that's a whole person, like a whole established
Yeah.
been working for a long time, like with a normal job. I mean, going to a school that old, like, do you kind of feel like it's an old school, or what? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I wouldn't like say it's like an old school. I definitely say there's a lot of history there though. Especially like last year, we had a really successful season. So a lot of the people that went there, you know, when they were kids, got behind us and they supported us throughout the whole year. So it was cool to kind of like bring that championship back to the community because they weren't able to get it. So
And how cool is that having like an alumni fan base where at least like for some or I don't know like how like that maybe the average amount of time high schools have been around for, but I doubt them have probably been as old as the school you're at. So what's it like, I guess, having to carry on a legacy that's not just maybe 20 years old, but probably 60 over 63 years because you know if that was a drought, probably probably even longer. So how
yeah.
do you carry that legacy of just so many years of your school being open and all that stuff?
I mean, yeah, it's huge. It's like everyone, especially where I'm from, it's like a really small area where like everyone knows everyone. So like the fact that we were able to like go out there and get the championship was huge because like no one's ever seen it in their lifetime. They've never seen my school be able to go and do that. So we're almost like little celebrities, like where we're from. Everyone kind of like bowed down to us at that point. So it was cool.
Yeah, it definitely sounds super cool. And I like not even in terms of athletics, but do you know like what are some of the notable alumni that came through your high school? Because again, I mean, if it's been around for that long, like there has to be someone that's gone there.
You know Doris Burke, the
Oh, yeah,
reporter for the NBA. Yeah, so
yeah.
she went to my school. Um,
Okay.
let's see, Jack Nicholson. He's an actor. He went to my school. Um, I'm sure there's a couple more, but not that like I'm familiar with. That's like way beyond my time.
Yeah, because like, I was gonna say like unless like if there's like zero notable alumni, your school's like not gonna be someone right. Because I mean that's
Yeah,
a long time not have like one person like make it somewhere. I mean that's pretty sad.
yeah.
Have you met Doris Burke before or?
I have not. I had no idea that she went to my school until probably like last year. Someone said that, and I was like, no way. Like, that's pretty cool. So,
Yeah, it definitely is. That's probably pretty crazy for sure. I mean, that'd be cool to come to my school, but I think the one alumni from my middle school is whatever XXX Tentacion or whatever.
oh,
He went to
no
my middle.
way. No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's I saw like I don't know who to believe because when you search him up, I think he went to like a different middle school. But then someone got a picture of him in the yearbook of like him from my middle school. So I'm not really sure like what to believe. But the source that I saw it from was Wikipedia, not the picture from the what middle school he went to. So maybe he went to my middle school.
Yeah.
I think if he did, he probably only went for a year because I mean that he was like
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was definitely that's kind of cool. But other than that, like nothing too major. And New Jersey, it's not that big of a state. It's pretty small. It's probably one of the smaller states in the
Yeah.
United States. But then there's just so much good basketball there. Like, can we talk about not like I guess how basketball is played, but more the community of basketball players in New Jersey?
I feel like you said, like Jersey's like very like basketball dominated. I feel like there's a lot of good players and a lot of like junkies, like people that just love to go and watch games. So it's like no matter who you're playing, no matter where it is, like not anymore because of coronavirus, but you're in a packed gym. There's people pumped to watch you play. There's people getting rowdy in the stands. So I feel like it's cool because it's like very uplifting and it like kind of like gets you hyped to play in those kind of moments. And it's not like you're just going to play a team in a dead gym. You can always expect a lot of people to come and watch you play. So but it's definitely people get like behind people. Like there's not a lot of haters. Like if you're good, you're good. Like people are gonna respect your game. So I feel like that's cool.
And in terms of the players, what's the relationship like with all the players? Like I know in the DMV, like they all play on different high school teams, but then when it comes time for AAU, they're just all pretty much they're all mixed up. Like they saw, just like it's almost like you have them all like let's say each high school is like a color, so it's like red, blue, and like white or something like that. So okay, so red, white, and blue for the United States, and then for AAU season, they just kind of like throw them in a pile and just mix them all together, and that's what the AAU season looks like. So like everyone's friends with everyone, everybody knows everybody. So what's it like in terms of the players and like their relationships with each other in New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, I like all these dudes that are like so called like the top ranked players in New Jersey are like all like personally like really good friends of mine. And it's like when we whether it's high school, like I've played multiple of those kids like throughout the season last year, and or if it's AAU, I mean, we all play like a couple kids will play for Rio, a couple kids will play for Team Final in Pennsylvania, New York Rens in New York City, and it's all like kind of mixed up. So it all like kind of comes back together because we always see each other at, like AAU tournaments and stuff like that.
And what is it like just always being around? I mean I doubt it gets old because like it's always good competition. But what's like always playing consistently the same players? Even though they're super good, just what's it like kind of seeing like a similar competition a lot?
It's good because it's like when you go against someone who's like as good, if not better than you, it's like you're kind of forced to like go and perform. Like you can't like fold under pressure because then it's just gonna make you look bad. So whenever I play someone who's a highly touted kid, I just make sure I go out and give my best effort and try to play the best I can because there's always eyes on you.
And you mentioned Team Rio University. How has it been playing for them?
It's been great. They've been so good to me over the past couple of years, and I feel like they're different than like any other program because it's like obviously we want to win and we want to have the best guys possible, but it's not like a type of program where it's like kids are just coming in and out. It's like they stick with who they have and they ride with their guys. So I've had a really good experience over the past couple of years with them.
And since things are always, like questionable now, like no, like a lot of plans, kind of get like thrown away just because of the whole virus and everything like that. How was this year's AAU slash off season for you?
It was interesting. It was something like I never really imagined to happen. Where I'm at in like New Jersey, like coronavirus hit us pretty hard, so a lot of stuff wasn't really going on. But we were like playing outdoors in tournaments and stuff like that. It's something I've never done before. So I mean, I guess like that was kind of cool to be able to like go and play outside against some pretty good teams. But it stinks because I felt like my team this year, I was playing up 17U. I felt like we would have had a really good year. I felt like we could have brought home an Under Armour championship or at least made a run for it, and something that we can't get back, but nothing we can do about it.
And I mean, luckily though, you still got next year, so it's not like too bad. Or yeah, you do next year. I just want to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But when
Yeah.
you mentioned playing tournaments outside, is that something you said it was kind of cool? Like, is that something even if everything was normal, that's something you'd want to do again?
If everything, I mean, like not every weekend. Like I would definitely go if it was like in the middle of summer and we played outside and it was nice weather. Like yeah, I'm 100% down to go play, but not every weekend. I miss playing in the gyms in front of coaches and stuff like that. So, but no, I definitely would do it again.
Um, so you said like you miss playing in front of the coaches and all that stuff. But what if the coaches could come to your outside games? Like, would you rather play the whole AAU season like in an outside? Like, it could even be like it could literally be like an AAU or not like the gyms where the AAU stuff is with all the different courts, just all like the concrete and like those types of hoops, and the coaches could be there and everything like that. But would you rather play like all your games outside or all your games inside?
Probably inside. I don't mind playing outside, but I feel like inside's like and outside kind of like sketches me out like falling, and I feel like you have a better chance of getting hurt outside. So I'm not trying to get hurt.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. That's probably super scary. But what
Yeah.
about like? Do you think maybe I know in New York, like even though in like, New York, New Jersey, they're kind of close together. But I know like New York's kind of big with the street ball. Would you say like? Would you think it'd be like a cool idea maybe if New York or New Jersey or even both of them maybe had like a couple games a year where they just picked two teams, or and by I mean New York City and New Jersey,
Hmm.
if they just pick like two teams like a game in New York, game in New Jersey, and they both play like outside or something like that. Would that be
Yeah,
something
no,
you'd be?
that absolutely. They do that. They do it's
The
outside in
Slam
the
Dunk
summer.
Classic. Yeah,
Yeah, and then they do like New York versus New Jersey, so they get like the top players from each state and go head to head.
but I'm saying like not an All Star game, literally like a normal high school game outside.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I'm always down to play, so no matter what, I'll play.
Yeah, that'd definitely be pretty cool for sure. Especially like if they kind of I don't know what is like the outdoor basketball scene like over there in New Jersey. Is it like because I know New York it's kind of like people say the mecca for basketball, but I mean outside like street ball there is it so big? Is it just as big over there in New Jersey?
Yeah, it's huge out in Jersey because like I feel like Jersey's like so guard heavy. Like everyone always talks about like Jersey guards different. So it's like, and I feel like if you're a street ball player, you're either like really small or a guard. So it's like they always have street ball stuff going on.
And being like a good like an organized basketball player because I mean street ball like all due respect to it but it's not like basketball but you playing
Yeah.
high school basketball being like a highly touted recruit and all that stuff like do you ever play a lot of street ball or do you kind of stay away from it just because like sometimes it's not really good to play like that kind of basketball if you have like a lot of potential.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not really like my choice to go and play street ball, but when coronavirus hit, like in the spring, that was kind of like all that was going on. So we had a lot of dudes that would actually come up to the park like by my house, a lot of D1 dudes. So I kind of lucked out with that, and that's kind of like what I did for like the time being, just like to stay ready.
And do you maybe like know like what were some of the reactions? What were some of the reactions of like the regulars out there? Like some of the kids that just go to play basketball, and they're used to just playing like the normal games with normal kids, and all of a sudden it's like you show up and like all these other like big guys from New Jersey are all there now. Like what were some of the normal people's reactions?
It's just like it's a different game, like you said. It's just like if street ball is like a lot. I know it's 5-on-5, but it's like a one-on-one show. So it's like if you're getting cooked, like you better be able to like cook someone back because if you're not, you're getting kicked off the court. So um, definitely a little shocked, I would say.
Yeah, wait, I got wait, hold on. My like water went down the wrong like pipe. Holy crap. Oh my I'm so sorry. Oh my god. All right, but I just like I can't like I usually don't I like never play street ball. But I mean like well it's not really street ball, but it's just like like outdoor basketball, I mean technically yeah, like not organized basketball. I would do that a lot like before they close down the courts in my neighborhood. But man, like, if
Yeah.
I was just there one day, actually no, this like doesn't really compare to like, going and having like D1 guys show up. But I would go and I would play with whoever's there. And then all of a sudden, like all these like probably college kids came, or like maybe some graduated college. I think one played
Hmm.
football. One was actually my eighth grade's language arts teacher's like daughter and her son, who's like huge, like he was so big. And they ended up so we challenged them, like me and all like the other like the kids there. We challenged them to a 5v5. That was crazy. They were so big. It was insane.
That's funny. That's good though.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
good.
it wasn't to get better. It was just cause like I'm just there for fun. Like it was there
Yeah,
for
yeah,
fun.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to like come out the like none of them probably ever played basketball, but it was definitely an interesting experience. Yeah, and the girl, like my language arts teacher's daughter, she was so aggressive. Like I'd be dribbling the ball up the court, and she'd be like hitting my shirt or like pulling like my shirt or like slapping my hand. Like she would, oh my god, like it was unbelievable. I never like, experienced like that hard of the defense before. It was, I mean, like
That's
I'm not
funny.
gonna call it a foul. Like that's kind of like it's not like of course like a foul's against the rules, but when you're playing like that, you're not gonna call a foul and everything. But
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that was crazy. Like I was getting like locked up by like I couldn't do anything about it. I just had to just had to put up with it,
Just yeah, I have to deal with it.
And with the virus and all that, I mean, you've still been able to prevail in terms of your recruitment process. You told me you have 9 offers. So can you talk about how that's been going?
It's been going pretty good. Back in June when they could first contact me, I was pleased with a lot of schools that reach out with me. I was pretty proud of myself, but I know that like that's doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. I still got time to go and stuff like that. But right now, I talk to like the same like 8 to 10 schools on the daily, and just trying to keep on working just to like keep that going up.
And a lot of players say, like, I talk to these schools daily. Like, do you literally mean every single day you're having a
Yeah,
conversation with those
yeah. I
schools?
mean, like every like day or two, I'm like getting reached out by these schools and having like a full on conversation, whether that's text or hopping on the phone. So
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. And I mean, when I just started interviewing that June 15th, I kind of forgot what it was. I think it was June 15th when coaches
mhm.
could start contacting directly the 2022 recruits. That's kind of like around when I just started. So I asked that question a lot. It's been a while since I asked that question, but can you take us through that day, June 15th, when all the coaches could start hitting you up?
Yeah, I mean that was crazy. I mean, like I remember I was sound asleep and like my phone at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning was like going off. I'm like waking up from my sleep and hop on the phone with school. So and then all throughout that day, I remember like in the morning it was pretty heavy. And then like through the afternoon, like I would get calls here and there, but it wasn't like crazy. And then nighttime was nuts. I like every 5 minutes I was on the phone. I was on a call with a different school.
Did you say like you woke up like when you were sleeping to answer the calls?
Yeah, like I would literally like I never leave my ringer on when I go to sleep because it always like wakes me up. So, but I
Yeah.
kept it on that night just in case. And like, yeah, I probably had like 4 or 5 calls like throughout the whole entire night, like from like 1 in the morning to 6 in the morning.
And did any of the coaches like ask you like why you up? Like,
No, I feel like they just kind of like expected. I was like kind of like debating whether to ask them why are you calling me now? You could have just waited till 8 in the
yeah.
morning or something like that. But I didn't want to be that guy. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. You're the first person I think that said like I answered the calls. Like I know everyone else. They said like I shut my phone off. Like I didn't check it till the morning. That's what they all said. But you're the first one that actually answered the calls. But I think my theory on why they would call like right at midnight is to show like we want you that bad that
yeah,
then we can start contacting you. That's when we're gonna call. But man, you must have been so
absolutely.
being exhausted the whole day. Like I'd be kind of like I think I'd be maybe happy. Of course, I don't know how it feels to get an offer. But like maybe once I got like a couple schools talking to me, like if it's like 4 in the morning, I have to wake up again. I'll be like like bye. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
can't talk.
I put my phone down. I was like, I'll just wait. I'll call you back.
Yeah, and like but the good part is I mean of course like you want offers, but at the end of the day like they want you. Like you again you may want like the offer like more than they want you, but at the same time it's not you asking coaches can I get an offer. It's them asking you. So you could pretty much like never
Absolutely.
answer them for a few days, and maybe they'll still
Yeah,
want.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
I
for sure, for
you're
sure.
kind of lucky with that, but that's just crazy. You're the first guy that's actually answered the calls, like when they first called.
Yeah,
When
I think I was just excited.
yeah, were you like sleeping at midnight or were you just like on your phone like ready for it to
No,
happen?
I mean, like I was sleeping at midnight because I think I was still in school at that point. So I was doing like
Oh,
school. I mean, I know we were
yeah,
virtual.
that's crazy. Yeah, you guys do end school late. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I was still in school at that point. So I remember like I did all my virtual work that day, and then I went to bed because I had school the next day, and they were waking me up, I guess.
Actually on that date, like I wasn't as busy as players, but because I write articles and like a lot of guys from my area were getting offers, so I had to kind of like update articles on them. Like I was kind of upstairs in my room the whole day, just keep refreshing Twitter. Oh, gotta do a quick article on this. Like that's what I was doing the whole day. I remember like my parents were like a little bit annoyed. Like you're just like on your computer all day writing articles. Like you gotta stop. Like were your parents at all kind of annoyed with that? Where you said like, once it kind of hit nighttime, that's kind of family time. You said like when it was night, it was going crazy. Like what were your parents at all mad about that? Or they kind of, I guess it's for your future, so it's kind of important. But
Yeah, no, they were kind of cool with it because like I'm like the oldest in my family, so they've never like seen that happen before, so they were kind of just excited. And then like once like bigger schools started to come in, like my parents were like really getting excited, so it was cool.
yeah, how many siblings do you have?
I have a one little brother.
Okay, does he play basketball too, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, he plays basketball. He's not like as competitive as I am with it, but he's a really good soccer player. So um,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Wait, how old is he?
he's a freshman this year in high school, so he's
Oh,
14.
okay. Yeah, well, yeah. My sister, she's a freshman too. She doesn't play any sports. And my brother, he's 10 though, but he plays soccer too. Uh, yeah. So what do you kind of like? I guess guys play different sports, but do you ever try to give them advice or try? Because even though it's soccer and basketball, like one's hands, one's feet, and it's kind of the big difference. But you still got to get your body right. You still got to be conditioned. Do you guys like ever do any sort of workouts together or anything like that, or is it really separate?
Yeah, no, I mean like we'll do our separate stuff. We'll do stuff on our own, but when it comes to like conditioning and stuff like that, like we'll do that together, especially during quarantine because we're spending a lot of time together. We're trying to figure out what to do, what to like not make us like border than we already were. So we would just go work out together.
So is your brother like pretty elite at soccer? I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. He can play. So yeah.
Yeah. So again, like they are two different sports, but still, if he's as good as you say he is, like he's probably gonna get offers and all that stuff. Have you ever maybe had like a talk about kind of like a recruitment process or anything like that, or have you been kind of showing him kind of like how to do some things in terms of the college recruitment, just because that could happen for him too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure how it all works like in the soccer world, but one of my good friends is like a really elite soccer player, so him and my brother like talk back and forth more than I really do because I don't really understand it. But I would just tell him just to like stay dedicated to himself, like don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything, and always put in work because it'll pay off and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. And going into more of the schools specifically, which ones have been reaching out to you the most out of the ones that have offered?
Out of the ones that have offered, I'd probably say George Washington, Holy Cross, Fairfield. Those are probably the three most that have reached out that have offered. Yeah.
And in terms of interest, who's been showing a really heavy interest?
I want to say Stanford, TCU, Virginia Tech, UConn, Yale, Harvard, Iona. Yeah, those are probably like the schools that reach out the most that like haven't offered. So, but
Yeah, it's definitely a ton of schools for sure. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. When you talk to Iona, are you talking to Rick Pitino or has he not
I'm
like reached out?
talking. I talked to Rick Pitino. So like the day it was like June 15th, I talked to him. But I talked to like the associate head coach a lot. So yeah.
Was that like one of like the cooler calls you've had on that day?
Yeah, when I found out, because it was actually a guy that I've known, he's pretty involved in the basketball world. He told me that he was going to call me, and it's just like he's like a legend. So it's like to be able to hop on the phone with him was pretty cool.
I don't know if you could share this if it's like too much insight, but do you maybe have like a favorite phone call on June 15th or like a favorite few or like the cooler people you've talked to on that day?
Probably, I mean, I really liked. I'm not really sure like where I'm going to end up or where I want to go. I'm not
Yeah.
really there yet, but I feel like the Harvard call was pretty cool because it's like Harvard's like the most prestigious school in the world, and it's like to be able to talk to someone from a school like that was kind of like made myself proud, and it was just like a really like good back and forth conversation. And Stanford was really good too. That was a call that I was waiting for. So
Yeah, and but both those schools, I know this from a former guy like Stanford. They ask you for your transcripts like before they kind of do everything. So
yeah,
obviously, like you're definitely an academic guy. But yeah, Harvard like that's just unbelievable. What are you maybe considering going the Ivy League route? Like, of course you don't really know, but is that like
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like it's kind of tough to say no to a school like Harvard, you know. So it's like And it's like if you go to a school like Harvard, it's just like you're set. You can basically do whatever you want to do. So it's like, and I do pretty well in school. I'm, you know, I study a lot and I get good grades. So it's like I kind of my dad always told me to like to use this basketball to set you up for life. Like use it to a school you wouldn't be able to get in without basketball. So, so definitely consider an Ivy League school.
And I don't want to say it, but I was gonna say like I doubt if you like weren't good at basketball, you'd get anything from Harvard. But I was
Yeah,
like, I
no,
think
like no. I mean, like, listen, I'm a pretty bright kid. I'm not trying to toot my own
yeah,
horn or
but that
anything like
like
that, but
you gotta be
that's
like
different level.
yeah. So I do you maybe think because I mean, tons of good players like get offers from Ivy League schools. Like I was talking with other coaches, like they said when they look to offer kids, they're not offering guys that aren't ranked or anything like that. Like they're looking to offer 3 to 5 stars with good grades, and that's kind of what they're looking for in a recruitment. Do you maybe see again, like not for yourself, but do you think the Ivy League, and they have proven it, like they've beaten top teams. Do you think that conference may not turn into like one of the power conferences, but definitely like a really 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 good one, like maybe the best mid major if anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about it. They're definitely like on the come up, and like you said, I mean, Yale, Harvard, Penn, they all beat these high major programs, and it's just like you see these 5-star, 4-star kids like starting to commit to these schools, and it's just like, um, I kind of respect that because it's like I've never been like set on high major, mid major, or low major. I just want to go to a school where like I fit best. So it's like if that's the case, like that's where I'm gonna go. So it's like I respect the kids that like choose that path.
And of course, I mean, again, this is the one thing I feel like I could put myself in like a player's shoes for. I know if I was getting offers, I at least I feel like if I got that big high major offer, or just like my first high major Power 5 offer, I think I'd be like super happy. I mean, that's a high major school. Like, that's kind of what some people's dreams are. But you said like you don't really look at the school in terms of it's a high major or a mid major. So can you talk about that? Because again, like a lot of kids, they have this dream of going to that high major school, but except for you just kind of look at, I guess, whichever one fits you best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, I want to go to a school where there's good academics, so it's like obviously the ball stops bouncing at some point, but it's I want to go to a school where it's like I have a good relationship with the coaches and players and have an opportunity to play. I don't want to go to a school and sit the bench for 2, 3, 4 years and just say I went there. But so that's just me, though. I mean, I respect everyone else's decision.
And that kind of led me into my next question. With the ball not bouncing, with your dad saying like maybe you try using basketball to get you to go to schools where if you weren't good at basketball, you probably wouldn't get into. Do you know what you want to do? Like as your major or what you're trying to be when you grow up if basketball doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna end up going down the business major or like sports marketing, but I think it'd be pretty cool because I love the game so much that I want to be around it for as long as I can. I feel like being like an agent, like being able to represent professional athletes, I feel like that's something that I'd be good at and like would be wanting to do. So I've kind of been like setting my mind on that.
Yeah, that's something that I'm trying to do now too with these interview stuff. So I mean maybe we can form. I probably won't go to Harvard, but my plan too is to go to college. Be a team manager there. That's what I am here, like at my high
That's
school.
awesome.
So go then be a graduate assistant because I'm gonna try be a coach like as long as I can. Kind of like how you said like you want to be around the game as long as possible. So if I don't
Mm,
make it out being a coach, I'll have to get like a graduate's degree or whatever it's called like at some point if I'm a graduate assistant. So I get a law degree. And then maybe you have to be an agent with the players I meet, or just get a normal lawyer job. But yeah, I mean that stuff, especially for you, like me talking to these players, like it's kind of good, I guess. Like maybe I have somewhat of a leg, but you're like friends with the guys. Like there's some guys I'm kind of close with, but you've like grown up with them, like you play on their team and all that stuff. Like
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
the chance I may never see you in person, like so
yeah.
that kind of like not that big of an advantage, but you could definitely like that is probably something that's definitely possible if it's like something you'd really want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we may need or I don't know what if it's called like a firm or like a company or an agency. Definitely, bro.
Agency. Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, iHoops FL and Ben. We can put your name first. We call it whatever. Roy and iHoops FL agency, whatever you want. I mean, that would be
Bet.
that. I mean, I'm telling you that'd be tough. And I got like I know people I could get like not to I guess be like the people we'd be agents for, but like people that know a lot of people. Like I'm telling you, like I think I could make this thing pretty big.
Say less. Let's do it.
All right. I mean, definitely a while down the road. But sticking maybe to like looking forward to the future, and all that good stuff. Are there any players that you may want to tee up in college? They could either be someone personally, or maybe like a college player that may be there like by the time you go to college, or even like a high school player that you just like their game that you'd want to play with.
Um, I'd probably I have a good friend. He's actually he's a really good player too. He holds a handful of high major offers. He goes to school up in North Jersey. His name's Denver Anglin. Him and I are like, I respect his game so much. He's a great player, but him and I are like really good friends too, and we're pretty similar when it comes to player wise. So I feel like playing with him would be pretty cool because we would challenge ourselves to like better each other every day. So that would probably be like the player I would choose to be with.
Does he play on Team Rio too?
No, he doesn't. He plays for the New York Rens.
Yeah. So I mean, having a guy like you say you're super tight with him, but it seems like the Team Rio thing. Like I'm not gonna say it's like a family, but it does seem like all the guys are pretty close.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You have tons of respect for him. Like having him not be on your AAU team and all that stuff, where you guys can play together. Is that almost like a rivalry? Like when you guys play Rens, is that a sort of rivalry?
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually played Denver in AAU because we probably would have played them this year, but it didn't work out like that. But I played them in high school last year. So, but now we're always competing. It's good because we go out on the court, we act like we don't like each other, but then off the court, it's we're like really good friends. So.
And I forgot if you mentioned it. Like, how were you guys able to form a friendship? Because I feel like I mean, AAU basketball is kind of where like the friendships form in terms of like the elite basketball players sort of meet each other. Because in high school basketball, you got guys that are never going to play a game of basketball like in college, and some that are going to play, be a one and done or something like that. So how have you been able to form that bond with him?
Just yeah, like you said, just like being a basketball player and playing all these years on a pretty high level and just growing up with everyone, it's like you almost like have no choice but to like be friends because it's like you've known each other for so long. So it's like it's nice though. I mean, I'm pretty lucky to be able to like I formed some pretty good friendships along the way, and um, hopefully that will continue because those are some dudes that I'll be friends with the rest of my life.
So pretty much like you've made friends by just playing against them and being their opponent, and that's how you've been able to become friends with some of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like game respects game. So it's like if you're good and the person you're playing is good, like you're gonna talk to each other after the game and do all this and that. So as you grow up, I mean, you're like forced to like be friends.
Yeah, it definitely is pretty cool as well. I mean, we just see tons of stuff like in the NBA, like even in college, and I feel like I think more and more. I mean, because again, you're friends with one of your opponents. Like I think just the more like we get into the future, I think the more we're gonna see guys like more friends than more friends. This is gonna be like more friends than foes. Just because like everyone's like all the elite guys, like all the 5 stars are probably they're probably on like some group chat that like no one knows
Absolutely.
about. Just because like all
Yeah,
the
no,
camps
100%.
and teams like they gotta all be friends. If not, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And my final question for you: what are your goals for the rest of your high school career?
Just to stay, honestly, I mean, I want to, keep on winning, keep on having a good career and, bringing home championships and stuff like that. But in all honesty, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing and just stay in the course. I've came a pretty long way. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but mostly ups. And I just keep looking at the bigger picture, keep realizing what this game could bring to me and just stay ready. Honestly, just keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And before we get in the interview, is there anything you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out Team Rio. Those are my guys. And yeah, I appreciate you for having me. Good interview.
Yeah, I appreciate it, my guy. I really means a lot having you come on. This was be. I think we've been following each other for like a long time. I think like at
Yeah,
least.
no, it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, because I think don't you have like a spider emoji in your bio?
Yeah, I used to because like the Team Rio logo used to be like a little spider, so I had that in my
Yeah.
bio.
Yeah, I thought you were committed to Richmond for like a while. Like when I first I thought you were committed to Richmond for like a long time, and then I'm like, he's 2022. I was shocked.
Yeah, nah, I think a couple of people have said that to me before actually.
But anyways, again, thanks for coming on. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram at benroy_. I'm at iHoopsFL, and anyways, 2022. of Manasquan High School point guard Ben Roy. I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.